Hey, what's up guys, gals, trolls, moms, dads, and everybody else? Welcome to another episode of I.K.P Paintworks on YouTube. Today we're going to be getting all of this stuff coated with Cerakote. This is part of a Rev B chassis that's being built by Trade 5 Customs next door to us. It will be going to SEMA this year, and it will be in the Cerakote booth. This is the first run of parts we got, all 7,962 pieces. I don't really know what it is, but it just sounds good. But anyhow, I'm going to get all this stuff coated. Everything's been sandblasted. Cleaned with acetone and gassed off and ready to go. So I'm gonna go get the stuff agitated and mixed up and come back in here and knock this stuff out.
Welcome back to iCandy's channel. What we have here is Manny's K5 Blazer. Oh, sorry, not K5, C5, it's two-wheel drive. Manny also owns the blue and white truck that we brought to SEMA last year and a whole bunch of other stuff. Same owner, great guy. This project was started somewhere else, don't know the whole story, but this is the first we're starting on this, and what we're gonna do is gather up all the parts that he has. We're gonna find anything that is gonna bolt to the panels, like the exterior panels, door handles, trim, grill, all that kind of stuff. Make sure all the holes are where they need to be, see if we have to weld anything, drill any holes. Extensive work before we get into dialing in the bodywork and how stuff fits. He's got a really awesome grill, we'll show it in a minute. It's a solid piece of billet aluminum that's been machined and cut out of one piece. It's really badass. That means it's really expensive, and that means I'm really stressed out about touching it and working near it. So what I'm doing is loosening up the rad support, everything behind it, and making sure that that grill is just gonna go on and off nice and smooth. So what I'm doing is reaming and cutting and bolting up what's behind it so that grill goes on nice. So the first time I put the grill on, everything was loose.
All right, we have the tailgate for my OBS dually back in the booth for one more round of primer. I swear this tailgate moves around more than a gangster around witness protection program, but I think we got it nailed this time. So I'm gonna get this thing high build primed, and then we'll give it a final block, and it should be ready for paint. The rest of the bed's pretty close to ready for paint. I just gotta do the body line, so pretty soon we'll be pulling the bed off the truck, getting the tailgate fit back on after blocking, and then maybe I can sneak the bed in and get the bed painted here before too long.
Frank posted this video up of all of these parts on the rack, and people were wondering what's going to happen when you go to put a bolt on. This is Cerakote. It was originally made for a gun coating, but we use this on a lot of chassis parts and high temp stuff. This truck's going in the Cerakote booth at SEMA, so they asked us to do all the bolts. So I'm going to give you a demonstration, untouched. These are all just laying here. This is the washer that goes right on here. So these are the cam washers for the lower control arms on the Rev B stuff. So it gives you an alignment, but you can see those go right on. Untouched bolt. See the inside's coated, bolt's coated. It just goes right on. So this stuff goes on super thin, but it's super protective, and it looks cool. Way cooler than just regular old grade 8 bolts.
Well, we're back in the booth. We got the engine, the third member, and the valve covers all prepped and ready to be Cerakoted. I got it in the gun, so I'm gonna throw this mask on real quick because this stuff is nasty smelling, and get this stuff coated. So as Dylan mentioned earlier, he's been fitting the grill here on Manny's Blazer. So we're gonna have a ton of progress hopefully happening to this thing soon. There's a lot of stuff we gotta put back on the truck, trim, bumpers, etc. We're still gonna get the grill to fit just a little bit better. We may have to do some cutting, some welding, not too sure yet. He's almost got this thing completely maxed out as far back as he can go, but he is working on this steadily. We're also working on the jams on Steven's 6400 here. Hopefully within the next couple of days we'll have the jams themselves done and we can hang the doors back on and test fit the doors and check all the gaps around the cab side. So I'm definitely getting excited with my dually here. I've got it all blocked out, all finished out in 320 grit, except for the roof, which I actually have sanded, but I gotta go back through and sand all the corners and all the edges and finish that up, and then I'll have James come cut the glass out of it. This truck, the exterior is ready for blow apart, final prep and paint. I still got to do the engine bay, but the majority of the truck is ready to go. I'm actually getting excited because I can't wait to see this thing painted, and I got a lot of work to do to get this thing finished for Dino's Get Down. Okay, so something that I really wanted to talk about really quick before I get out of here would be Larry's truck. As you guys can see, it has been sanded. It's been sanded with 600 grit. Taylor's got the entire cab and the hood already sanded. Actually, he's guy coated it and started with the 1000 grit. So I want to kind of touch base on that. I know some of you guys out there think, oh, it's got to be sitting around for 6 months to a year before it can be sanded and buffed. Some of the other guys think it can be done right away and it's going to be fine. Everybody has their own method that works for them, and it really depends on where you live. Here it gets extremely hot. I'm not necessarily sure where Larry lives, how hot it gets, but I know here it gets extremely hot. I have tried just about every type of method you could think of. I have sanded them and left them open, put them out in the sun for a week, flipped them around, let them stay out in the sun for another week, brought them back in, final sanded them, buffed them, they pinch. I've sanded and buffed them right away, they pinch. I've let them sit for 2-3 months, come back and sand them all the way through, buff them, gets hot, gets cold, they pinch. So no matter what I have done, it always seems to pinch. Doesn't matter what clear I've used all kinds of clears. I've been doing this for over 30 years, so it's not the clear coat. What it is the fact that it is gassing off and it is pinching back. It is drying up. So the best thing that I found to do, which really seems to work for me, sand and buff right away when it's soft. And here's the reason why. When it's soft, it'll sand flat fast. It'll buff back fast, and it's flat, and it's done. You take it, send it to interior. When it comes back, it's going to come back with overspray on it, maybe some glue overspray, maybe who knows what they're doing over there at the interior shop. Could have some fingerprints on it, some scuff marks on it during assembly. It's going to get revisited before it goes home. So you might as well get it sanded flat, buffed while it's soft, so when it comes back, it's a quick DA, 2,000, 3,000, sometimes maybe 1,500, but usually it's 2,000, 3,000, and then we buff it out, and it's back to a sheet of glass. It's had a month or two, already buffed, to continue to gas off and pinch up, so the odds of it pinching back are a lot less, and if it does, it's a lot less of a pinch back, and maybe down the road, a year down the road, you revisit it again. Paint is like changing the oil in your car. It's not going to stay good forever, and it's definitely not going to stay good forever if you don't maintain it and take care of it. So if you think you could just get something painted and it's going to last forever, you're nuts. You got to maintain it. You got to polish it. You got to resand it sometimes. You got to do a paint correction. You got to wax it. You got to keep it clean. You got to use certain type of towels. You got to clean them a certain type of way, or they get scratches. And when the cars leave here, we got a magnifying glass on these cars. When they leave here, the scratch profile is insanely invisible to the naked eye or to the untrained eye. Like, we can see certain things that most guys out there will never see, but we are polishing up to such a high level that if you wash it and don't take care of it properly and don't wash it properly, you're going to scratch it up and it's going to look terrible. So you're definitely going to have it corrected and definitely going to have it maintained.